I feel like I have to start my video off in pajamas, being that I'm creating a pajama brand, and that is what this video is going to be about. But first, we have to go over my breakfast. It is currently like 9 o'clock, and my current obsession right now is Taco Bell breakfast. Like, I'm gonna put you guys on right now. So what I order, I get two things. I get the crunch wrap, breakfast crunch wrap in a bacon, and I get the meals. So it comes with a little cinnamon delight, so you can kind of see them there. The cinnamon delight coffee, which this is the first time I'm having it. It's actually like really good. Like it's like the perfect amount of sweetness and everything. And then the crunch wrap. You guys know what a crunch wrap looks like, but this one, it just has hash brown, eggs, cheese, I think a little bit of nacho cheese, and then bacon. And it's like this big, it's the perfect size. And then I do love potatoes, so I also got the breakfast potato loaded thingy. And it's just magical. And of course I got literally the world's most amount of Taco Bell sauce. Taco Bell, if you're watching this, please sponsor me. I'm literally obsessed with you. Anyways, today's video is really going to be discussing my brand, kind of what stage we're at and where we are. I know I did a couple clips, a couple other videos where I kind of talked about like those stages that I was in, but I love seeing founders and creators kind of show what they've done, a little bit of a show and tell moment. So today, this whole week has really been focusing on packaging. So for my collection that I'm creating, the collection's called Once Upon a Bedtime, because it's a pajama brand. This collection is inspired by my favorite princesses and me, because my two names are named after princesses. So I thought it was only fitting for my first collection to match that. For the packaging, it's going to look like a storybook, and then when you open the storybook, it will look exactly like, you know, a castle or like, you know, one of those fairy tale drawings. It's not the most perfect fairy tale drawing, but it's something that I created, and it's just something simple and fun and different than what you probably normally see, which is like a brown box with like very Helvetica, like simple sans serif lettering. Like, I miss fun packaging. I think the only fun packaging I've seen in a really long time is a Dairy Boy one and a Jeffrey Campbell one. Really, packaging is such an unnecessary expensive expense. When you think of like unnecessary expenses, it's our shipping boxes, tissue paper, stickers, hang tags, the hang tag strings for the garments, our little care labels that go on the inside of all of our garments, thank you notes, like all of that stuff. It adds up extremely quickly and also goes into the cost of the final product. So when a customer is purchasing a product, they're actually purchasing the box, they're purchasing the tissue paper, they're purchasing that sticker, they're purchasing that thank you note, they're purchasing all of it because it's already lumped into the final cost of goods of the product. I hope a lot of people know that if you are somebody who's like thinking of starting your own brand, to kind of like lump that in and not add that as like your own expense that you're just, you know, you need to add that into the cost of every single item that you're selling. And the way that I like to calculate it, I'll put it here, the quantity that you're buying divided by how many of that style that you have. The way that I'm calculating it is like, if I have a garment label, I need to buy 200 of that garment label. If I'm buying more of it, fine. Say I buy 1,000 of the garment label. You need to be dividing that though by how many units of product you currently have. So don't divide by how many pieces you currently own and you currently have. If you don't have products, but you're forecasting you're gonna have X amount of sales, divided by that amount. So that's kind of how I worked it and how I added it into my cost of goods. I also have an Excel sheet that kind of lists out every little fine detail, including like the thread, how much that costs, like everything. Everything's lumped in because I want to make sure I'm not missing a dime, so that my cost of goods and my fair wages are being like leveled and balanced. All right, that was a lot of like analytical stuff. I'm gonna get back into eating, and then we'll kind of chit chat a little bit more about what I'm currently working on for this week. Breakfast is done. I did get into a little of a YouTube hole because I have not watched YouTube, and I kid you not, like a million years it feels like. But now we are getting into the nitty gritty. So the packaging. So there's multiple quadrants for doing this because each part of the box is supposed to look like the inside of a room. So I'm working on the main piece, which is where the actual contents of the product will be. That is essentially me sleeping in a bed with my little pet sheep, which is really like a symbol of my dog, which you guys have seen my dog tons of times. There you go. that's what she looks like so far. All of this is hand drawn by me in my little iPad. I honestly have so much fun doing this and creating this, mainly because it's like I have so much gratitude for drawing and the art of drawing. I think it's a very difficult thing to do. So when you are able to like really hone in on it and like make something magical, it just looks that much better and it feels that much better. So I'm gonna continue to work on this. I will probably catch you guys in downtown. I might bring you to one of my pattern makers. Another thing that I do, since I am such a small business and I don't have like the capital currently to hire a full service, full package manufacturer, is I have a bunch of different contract workers. So I have contract sewers, and then I have my pattern maker, and I have a contract sampler. So with these people, each one is dedicated to a certain role, and I'm able to delegate how many of each product is created. If you guys have questions too, let me know. I'd love to make little YouTube shorts on your questions to answer anything that you guys might have. I'm gonna get back into drawing. I really want to be able to at least finish this first layer, so that way we can work on all of our walls, and then our last final piece, which is going to be the actual like lid that comes off.